All right, so we got big breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Donald Trump just made the announcement that we've all been waiting for. And before we start this live stream, let me know where you guys are watching from. Make sure to smash the like button, share the stream. I want to share a personal message. I was wrong. I was wrong because I thought that this would have been Iraq 2.0. I was wrong to think that this would get out of hand and troops will eventually be on the ground and we go to another endless war. I was wrong about that. In fact, Trump just made the announcement we've all been waiting for, and it's a big one. And it looks like Iran has surrendered, and there is a ceasefire deal that he has announced between Israel and Iran. I want to read exactly what he said, but this is huge news for the United States of America. And this is huge news for me and you. And I definitely am one of those people. I told you, if I'm wrong about this, I will be the first to admit that I'm wrong. Now, how many people will admit that they were wrong about how Trump handled this conflict? I'm not sure, but I'm not on that list because I'll be the first one to know. You'll be the first one to know that I was wrong. So I lost a lot of subscribers behind my belief system. I thought that what Trump did at the time was not the right thing because we'd end up going to war. But it looks like Trump knew something we didn't, that Iran was much weaker than a lot of people anticipated, and that going after them now would actually bring in peace through strength. So again, I will admit I was wrong, and whatever consequences, I got to suffer for it, I will. But the big breaking news, I want to read it to you, and thank you so much for the gift. You know what I'm saying? Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. So this is why I say I was wrong. So it looks like Trump took a route, the same route that he took with Soleimani in 2020. When he took out a general, many people said that when he did this, when he took out Soleimani of Iran, that everybody said that we are going to war with Iran. But guess what? We didn't. So as this is Soleimani 2.0, it does seem like that. President Trump announces that Israel and Iran have agreed to a full ceasefire to take effect within a few hours. Here he says, Trump, and again, I'm going to read this to you. This is crazy. I can't believe this. Congratulations to everyone. It has been fully agreed between Israel and Iran that there will be a complete and total ceasefire in approximately 6 hours from now when Israel and Iran have wound down and completed their in-progress final missions. For 12 hours, at which point the war will be considered ended. Officially, Iran will start the ceasefire, and upon the 12th hour, Israel will start the ceasefire. And upon the 24th hour, an official end to the 12-day war will be saluted by the world. During each ceasefire, the other side will remain peaceful and respectful on the assumption that everything works as it should, which it will. I would like to congratulate both countries, Israel and Iran, on having the stamina, courage, and intelligence to end what should be called the 12-day war that will now go down in history if this is successful, the 12-day war. This is a war that could have gone on for years and destroyed the entire Middle East, but it didn't, Trump says. And it never will. God bless Israel. God bless Iran. God bless the Middle East. God bless the United States of America. God bless the world. Donald J. Trump, the president of the United States of America. That's what he just announced. And I'm not going to lie to you. I'm very impressed that this is what happened, because it did look like at some point we were about to head into uncharted territory with retaliations. But here's how it started. It started here because the president, remember, Iran launched. I went live earlier and we spoke about this. Iran launched at the United States military base in Qatar, right? And Iran called the United States to tell them that they were going to do that so they can evacuate and not take any United States lives. So Trump then goes and he responds. He says, I want to thank Iran for giving us early notice, which made it possible for no lives to be lost and nobody to be injured. Perhaps Iran can now proceed to peace and harmony in the region. I will enthusiastically encourage Israel to do the same. So he's checking Israel and Iran on this, because Iran clearly wants peace with the United States of America. And they clearly could have attacked this base with no warning, and there could have been lives lost that belong to the United States of America. But I don't think they want to do that. Why? Well, because there was a show of force by Donald Trump by blowing up their bunkers and and their, the laboratories, right? Blowing up their nuclear facilities. So that was the show of force that Trump basically showed. And that's what made them at this point do a ceasefire deal. That was the announcement that was made. So ladies and gentlemen, what do you guys feel about this? How do you guys feel about this? Again, it's so crazy what could happen in the last 24 hours. So here we go. We got JD Vance making a huge announcement here. I want to go to JD Vance. If you haven't hit the like button, I think somebody sent a gifted. So thank you so much for sending a gifted. I'm also going to read the news. I'm also going to read the news. I'm also going to read your comments. Here we go.
When I left the White House, I thought that we might be able to get it across the finish line before this broadcast, and it looks like the president has been able to do that. I mean, look, he's been working the phones constantly, frankly, before the 12-day war started, but certainly over the past 12 days, the president's been extremely clear about America's national objective here. It is to create a world where Iran cannot build a nuclear weapon. We, of course, destroyed the nuclear program that they had, and the president told the entire team, we're going to work to make sure that they don't try to rebuild that nuclear capability in the future. And look, this is a great thing. For Israel, think about this. They've accomplished an important military objective. They've helped us destroy the Iranian nuclear program. They've also destroyed the conventional missile capability of Iran that threatened the country of Israel. For the Iranians, I think this is a new opportunity to actually pursue the path of peace. As I said yesterday, what the Iranians have showed through their support of terror networks, through their now failed effort to build a nuclear weapon, is that they're just not very good at war. And I think the president...
They're not very good at war. So apparently, here's what just happened. I just got a big breaking news here while we're live streaming. Apparently, CNN reported that Iran did not accept, the ceasefire deal, but apparently now they did. So somebody is lying here, and I want to get to the bottom of this because apparently Iran officials have agreed to a ceasefire, even though CNN reported that they didn't. So Iranian officials have confirmed Iran agreed to a ceasefire proposed by Trump per Reuters. So now Reuters has come out and confirmed this. So there was somebody in the comments that was a hater. Somebody in the comments just now was hating, calling us cultists, calling me a cultist, by the way, when you know damn well I'm not. But he came in here and said that they did not agree to the ceasefire, but we just got big breaking news from Reuters. So suck it, hater, suck it. So wow, we don't hate the media enough, but we really, is the guy's name Jimmy? Is that who it is? Is it Jimmy? Because Jimmy Iran literally said it. Okay, so Iran literally said that they did not agree. Yeah, so somebody's lying here, and I think it's you because we got it all over the place. Reuters is now saying that they did. So who's lying here? Is it Nick? Is it you? I'm not sure. All right, so that's the big breaking news. Screenshots are forever. Again, I never posted any of this, or I don't think I did. But apparently, a lot of people were calling Trump George Bush, and it turns out that this may not be the case. Trump did not turn into George Bush. Nick T is a liar. Nick T. It's not over. I don't think it's over. I'm not saying that it's over. But temporarily, this is a huge W. But then we got some hate. We got breaking news that Donald Trump decided to stop bombing Iran. Iran gave us a clear indication that they were going to bomb us in one of our bases. And you're saying it's not over? After they told Trump, hey, this is what we're going to do. We don't want to kill any Americans because we don't want this to get worse. And some of you guys are hating on this? No. Oh, my God. Hey, you guys people just turn into haters. It just sucks. It sucks that you guys don't want this to be true. I was one of the main people that was criticizing Trump, losing followers after followers for criticizing him. But it turns out that this move that he made was actually a show of strength enough to make Iran not want to continue the war. That was probably the best move. I criticized it. I said I was wrong because it turns out that, hey, we're going to get peace. And we're going to get and it looks like Trump is also checking Israel to not continue this war. So, yeah, I told you, I'm not a hater. I'll tell you, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Yeah, they were basically comparing Trump to George Bush. It did look like maybe that's where we were going to go. The same thing, Bush was told that there was weapons of mass destruction, and we did a lot of we invaded Iraq and we did so many bad things in our past. We just didn't want to repeat that. So anybody that is mad that I criticize Trump or that people criticize Trump, people have PTSD. People don't want to go to war. They know what it has done to our military, and they know what it has done all over the world. We don't want to repeat that again. So there was a lot of people, but I always stuck on the side of, I'm going to see what happens here, and I'm going to report the truth. So here we go. So, this is another big breaking news that a lot of people, again, I was one of those people that was wrong about this. It looks like Trump's envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, had remained in contact with the Iranians since American weekend strikes against their nuclear facilities. So it looks like Iran and the United States of America were in contact for peace. And again, if you look at who backed the United States here, Qatar and Saudi Arabia. So it looks like the Muslim world is ready to turn the tide, and they're ready to go after what they feel are not peaceful Muslims or Muslim countries. They want to side with the United States of America. They want to live their own lives. We've spoken about this before, but they want peace. They want to make money. They don't want war. They don't want no crazy, radical Muslim shit. And we shouldn't want it either. So let's see. Let's take a look.
That Donald Trump's Mideast envoy, Steve Witkoff, has remained in contact with Iranians since those U.S. weekend strikes. What does that tell you about this moment in this conflict?
I think it really speaks to the fact that both Tehran, but also the Trump administration and the president himself are looking for off-ramps. And the fact that there are channels open, direct or indirect lines over multiple parties, from the Omanis to the Qataris to the Turks. There are many countries trying to find ways to bridge the divide. That's very important. What's really urgently needed is an opportunity for the Iranian foreign minister and Steve Witkoff to speak. Perhaps.
And they spoke. So I think Steve Witkoff, which is Trump's envoy to the Middle East, he's like the peace and deal breaker along with Trump. He's like his bridge. He was able to make this happen. And by the way, we got more breaking news for the haters in the comments. For the haters in the comments, breaking. Senior Iranian official confirms to Reuters that Tehran has agreed to Qatar mediated, U.S. proposed ceasefire with Israel. Man. Clap it up. Clap it up. I'm going to sleep well tonight. I'm going to sleep very well. Yeah. So Israel is not going to stop? Well, we'll sleep well tonight, knowing that at least we have a ceasefire. Somebody said Israel's not going to stop. That's a good conversation. It's a good conversation to have. I mean, that's your opinion on Israel. I'm gonna read your guys' comments here. I'm gonna take everything that you guys are saying, but we do have a ceasefire deal. They have surrendered. If Iran is as strong as people anticipated, Iran would have bombed. Iran would have did something. But we still don't know, guys. We still don't know. We're not out of it fully. That doesn't mean that we're going to, just sleep. We might sleep well tonight, but doesn't mean that we're just going to stop paying attention to what Iran can do. Doesn't mean that there's not sleeper cells in the United States of America that will act. Doesn't mean that, but it means that we are headed towards something better than what we had yesterday. So we will see, ladies and gentlemen. We will see. We will see what happens. Iran cannot be trusted. Yeah, I think a lot of countries in the Middle East feel that way as well. All right, I'm reading your guys' comments. By the way, thank y'all for being here. If you haven't smashed the like button, please do that. Let's see what else. Do you think Iran attacked so other countries see? No, I think Iran attacked for the sake of showing face and, not being considered, or, they've done this before where they attack weakly. Like it's a very weak attack, but that doesn't mean that they won't attack again. Like I said, a ceasefire there is a ceasefire deal. Ceasefire deals have been violated before. So we'll see what happens there. If Israel doesn't stop, the Palestinians will be free. Iraq was outnumbered. Let me see what else you guys are saying here. There needs to be a regime change in Iran so they continue their attacks. We'll see. We will see. We will see what happens next. But a ceasefire is a great start to see what happens next. It's a great start for that. All right. Well, I appreciate everybody. I got some people from Houston in the building. I appreciate y'all coming through. That was my breaking news. Thank y'all so much for being here. Maybe we'll go live again later to break some more news. I don't trust any country. I really don't. I don't even trust our government. So Israel needs confirmation of the hits. Israel attacked Iran right after Iran attacked the U.S. base. So Israel was still attacking not too long ago. But this is huge news. You know, Reuters confirmed it, that Qatar mediated this deal. Qatar, right? Qatar is hated by a lot of Israelis and a lot of people. Mark Levin. So there's both sides are taking L's here, right? Mark Levin is taking the L. And these warmongers, super pro-Israel people are taking L's because Qatar was the one that mediated this deal. Now, they hate Qatar, and they don't think that Qatar would be good. But Qatar is out there defending a U.S. base. They're out there defending Americans. So who's really wrong here? And who's really initiating these wars? That's the real question. Because there are countries that want peace. But do we, or Israel, do they want peace? That's the real question. That's the real question. All right. I love y'all. That was my breaking news, and I'll see y'all on the next one.